IVM.
Hello and welcome to The Origin of Things. Sorry, wrong podcast. Hi, everybody.
Hi, good morning, and
Morning,
welcome to the one and only Simplified.
Yes. Episode 200 and 200 part 3?
No.
Let's not go down that again. So this is episode 202 or half of an error, basically. That's what this-
I think for people who didn't watch the climax of 201, we should explain why you guys are still here. Chuck and Srikeit.
Oh, yeah. So we're back. Yeah. You want to elaborate, Chuck?
No, not really.
Yeah, you were gone for longer, okay?
I had gone for
was more
longer and I had-
mysterious.
I had gone on official leave. You though
Yeah.
just didn't show up.
I put full bunk.
Yeah.
So anyway, what happened was Chuck was in the middle of forging a new
crisis.
career, and so
Now
he,
it's forged.
now it's forged.
Yeah.
Now he's
So apparently, every recession, there is some path-breaking company that has been founded, like the Uber, Microsofts of the world.
Yeah.
And in 2020, that is Chuck's new venture, which if he wants to plug, he'll...
No, I will
Excellent.
not want to plug. But I'm very
Which is the origin of things. No?
yeah, fair enough. All right, fair enough. But Microsoft started during a recession.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I sent you the chat. I now don't.
everything was a recession before Microsoft started. So
Yeah. Okay, that's a good. That's a good point. Shall we get into the most important segment, which is the profundity of the day, gentlemen?
yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, since my family WhatsApp group hasn't been gracing this show for the last half a year or so, I will bring something that I saw to the table, which is now I want you to picture this. All right, this is like stock image heaven, which is like a textbook opened up half the middle, and there's a paper boat, as in not the drink, but an actual paper boat, right, like in the middle, with these lines: "Life is the best school. Hardship
course.
is our best teacher. Problem is the best assignment, and failure is the best revision. Good morning." And this comes to us from the fine philosophers at laughingcolors.com. Colors with an OU. That's it. This is
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
very good.
this is a little incomplete, so I took the liberty of completing it for reality's sake.
Filling in the colors, so to
Yeah,
speak.
filling in the colors as it were. Okay, so we ended with failure is the best revision. So I, continuing this theme, corporate compliance is the best morning assembly. Filing taxes is the best surprise principal visit.
Of course.
Annoying extra meeting getting called is the best. People putting water on your bench as you sit down from answering the teacher's question.
Wow, that's some personal trauma.
The constant drudgery of a 9 to 5, who are we kidding? 9 to 11 job is the best supplementary exam. The person who brings up a new agenda point just when the meeting at 6 p.m. Friday is about to end is the best class monitor.
Of course.
Constant Zoom meetings are the best annoying bench partner. And unfair appraisals where your boss rewards suck-ups is the best end-term dissertation. Good morning.
Well, a lot of thought has gone to that, evidently.
Amazing.
No,
Wow.
you guys were just late, so I just wrote.
Yeah, I thought with the paper boat and all, they'd go with some ship puns like friendship, hardship, worship.
I'm sure this exists somewhere. But okay, so now that is out of the way, what are we talking about today?
Oh,
wait,
no one
that's-
prepared.
Only prepared. So we are talking about NFTs. NFTs, you might wonder what are NFTs? Are they no fun Tonys? Like
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
or
Please never be late again.
or next flight of the Tadapalli.
Yeah.
Nice.
I couldn't think
Brain
of
full
one for
time
Naren.
pass. Yeah.
Oh, Naren
Nice.
Fun Time. Naren Fun Time. Oh,
Naren fun time.
I want now a T-shirt that says Naren Fun. Naren Fun Time sounds like one of those.
Or Tony as a client without money, no fun, Tony.
Oh, I see Simpsons fans in the house. But Naren Fun Time sounds like one of those, like a random park in Malad somewhere, right? Like
Okay.
Yeah. It does.
I thought
Naren Fun
this,
Time with
his
the roller coaster.
screen name on some video chat.
Secret
Meet
lives.
Naren fun time near you. Locals in the area tells.
Wow. People who want Naren Fun Time on a t-shirt, please mail merch at Simplified.
That will be the first simplified goodie.
Merch at simplified.co.py. PY for Polynesia, obviously. Today we will talk about...
it's the new songs.pk.
It's the new songs.pk. There we go. That's a line that you didn't expect to hear at 7:30 on a Sunday. Naren Fun Time is the new songs.pk. But see what Simplified brings, what road Simplified brings you down. Okay, guys, today we are going to talk about a digital painting that sold for $69 million and NBA selling highlights for tens of thousands of dollars. So what exactly is happening? This is something called NFTs. I'm assuming all of you know what NFTs are, or at least have been wondering what they are as they keep coming in.
Wondering for sure.
We know the expansion.
Okay, so let us see what Wikipedia has to say. NFT is a non-fungible token, which is a unit of data on a digital ledger called a blockchain, where each NFT can represent a unique digital item and thus they are not interchangeable. NFTs can represent digital files such as art, audio, video, and other forms of creative work. Firstly, I read the word blockchain too many times and that just makes my head hurt.
Yeah, and this is obviously valuable because it uses enough words that people don't understand. Automatically,
but somehow I just want to throw my money at it.
Exactly.
Everybody feel like this. Like the only thing missing over there is GameStop. Like if that was there, I would like liquidate all my assets right now and just put it into whatever this is. So I know it's something complicated.
Therefore, it must be good.
Yeah, therefore it must be. So I tried understanding, once again, for the 85th time in the last 3 years, I tried understanding what a blockchain is. I tried reading and I closed it again. And someday I will understand.
That's when you put your cycle on the cab and return home, no? Blockchain happens.
That's a great reference.
Wow.
What Tony is referring to as an avid follower of my Instagram is that last week I went cycling and my chain broke somewhere over Godbandha Road, so I had to put expensive cycle on top of a cab and come back home, and that's not the greatest of feelings. But anyway, coming back to this, someday I will understand what a blockchain is. Maybe we should do a simplify. Oh, what? We already did an episode. What are you saying? And I hosted it? Oh, dear God. That's
No, I think I was just thinking about it the other day. I think now it's time that since we have passed Simplified 200, we need to start with like the Greek crisis again. and start over again, because now you need to recap.
Incidentally, I actually read somewhere that the Greek economy, which is so reliant on tourism, is actually going through a crisis right now. Is that
excellent? Kiss my Sipira. This time it's personal.
Like once musicians stop putting out albums, they just start remastering their old albums.
Yeah.
Start re-releasing it. So Naren, what we should do is you and I should just see if we have that script written somewhere, and now with our fancy new mics and everything. Remember those peasant days when we used to record?
We used to.
And our idea.
The same episode with no fan noise.
That's fan noise. Yeah. So now we should do in high def. See, people are talking about wave files and all.
But why are you shirking your responsibilities of explaining what NFT is to us? Because basically chickened out. He thought he understood what it was.
No.
He's forgotten.
So here's the thing. I first tried to technically understand what an NFT, and I said, okay, this is not going to happen. So let us try to understand at a cultural level what NFTs means. So let us faff our way out of the problem like a planet.
This is like when you prepare for an exam and you're like, this time I want to talk. Then finally on the morning of the exam, enough to pass, I've learned.
No, this is the equivalent of essay coming, like I prepared essay on tree, essay came on goat. The goat is tied to a tree is tied to the goat. Goat and tree are tied to each other.
The rope is made out of this material. But only I also realized learned just enough to pass is a great tagline for Simplified.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, what is an NFT at the end of the day? The NFT, as far as I can
read on Wikipedia.
Read on Wikipedia, is is basically just digital creative work that can be sold to other people as a digital collectible. And the best analogy for it really is baseball cards. So before people say, yeah, but you can like copy, you can take screenshot of JPEG and you can like put that on computer. I've got like $69 million thing on my computer for free. So yes, obviously that can be done, but you can do the same thing for baseball card also by taking it to Xerox shop. So it's the same kind of works over here. It's actually a very good analogy, but okay, let's start again to try and start from the basics. So digital creators, as in artists or musicians or pretty much anything, any piece of digital work, be it 2D, 3D, audio, video, and who knows, maybe in the future, even other forms like virtual reality or whatever, can be put on sale on certain marketplaces like OpenSea, Known Origin, Rarible, and there are a few others.
Can we sell this episode?
Well, we can actually. We can
yeah, very much so. Yeah.
We can. And we would still hold the rights to it.
The only problem is who will want to buy.
Again,
one technical problem. Yeah.
Never discount the problem of never discount the passion of our three listeners. So, for those who are listening to this, if you would like to buy this episode of Simblified, please write into what is our merch email ID?
No, I think you have to first explain what NFTs and how they can buy. So then,
yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay. So what happens is, imagine a digital artist makes a drawing or whatever, uploads it as a JPEG file on one of these platforms like Known Origin, Rarible, OpenSea, and there are a bunch of others as well. Just consider these as the Amazons of NFTs. NFTs is basically digital collectibles. Simply put, if I may. And what happens is people can bid on these using, obviously, cryptocurrency because
why not?
Yeah, because why not, right? When you don't understand something, you add another thing on top of it which nobody understands. People buy this with cryptocurrency, specifically Ether, which is on the Ethereum blockchain and not Bitcoin, for a number of reasons which we shall not get into this episode, mostly because I don't understand most of it. And then you own that piece of art. If you are the winning bid or you meet the price or whatever, different ones operate differently, right? You can either buy it outright or you can bid on it, and after a period of time the seller decides to close it, whatever the case may be. So you own that piece of digital art, which means you can download it as a JPEG and keep it on your computer, and it is verified in the blockchain. So one thing I know about the blockchain is that it's a digital ledger where everybody around the world at any point of time can see proof of ownership. Like if you take a blockchain transaction, just like how you can go to Blue Dart and search for AWB bill and where the thing is right now, you can go to these sites and put in the blockchain, blockchain transaction, and you will see who owns that at any point of time, who was a seller, all that kind of thing. So you are the verified owner of that piece of digital art. Yes, others can just increase screen size to 200%, take a screenshot of it and keep the same JPEG, but they don't own the piece of digital creative, or they don't have the they don't have the contract. Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, over here, Tony, the copyright of this still rests with the seller. So they have the open files. They can manipulate it later and they can sell. So think of this again. The baseball card analogy actually works quite beautifully over here. It's a card company, or maybe the whatever Major League Baseball or whatever it is that they have over there. They own the rights to the thing, as does the athlete has the rights to his own name and image and all that. And they license it out and make these cards available to, I don't know, I guess bubblegum manufacturers or whoever it is that distributes these cards.
But can they delete the original one? If they delete the original one, does the license still exist?
Oh, that's a good question. I think all of them operate in different ways. I've seen some NFTs where the ownership is transferred completely, some where the ownership is retained. I haven't come across a scene where the original is deleted and now this is the only version that exists. So I'm not quite sure about that. Although my guess is that it should be there.
Cool.
Yeah. And some of these operate in different licenses, just like stock image sites have some, you can use this version for this. Some have an extended license. All those kind of things exist as well.
What it just makes me think? It's almost like you can have art effectively can become like software where you can release versions of it.
Yeah.
where you're able to like say that, you know what, this is the artwork that I'm making for the summer and I'll update it for the winter and the spring and the and other seasons or whatever, or almost like, imagine almost arts like the Amul girl, like based on topicality, I keep updating it in some way or the other.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't come across this one like that, where a piece of art actually gets updated like software.
That's cool. Part 53 of 150th episode.
So that's essentially what an NFT is. Digital collectibles is possibly the simplest way to describe what it is. Sold through certain marketplaces, bought and sold using cryptocurrencies. Now, NFTs have been around for a while, even though it's been in the news recently. It's been around since, in some shape or form, since 2017, 18 or so. One of the earliest examples of NFTs was something called CryptoKitties. Of course, it is something.
CryptoKitties, sir.
Yes, CryptoKitties. So there was this website that was releasing. So you guys, you remember these old virtual pets that we used to have?
Yeah.
Tamagotchis. Yes.
Tamagotchi, yeah.
So CryptoKitties was a website that released one digital cat every 15 minutes to a maximum of 50,000 cats. and people would come and buy these CryptoKitties, which meant, again, same thing. I know it sounds ridiculous, but go with me here. And I've been trying to keep an open mind.
That also could be the tagline for Simblified.
Yeah. What, keep an open mind or?
No, that it sounds ridiculous, but go with me here.
Yeah, fair. And go we have for 202 episodes. Okay, so and people would come and buy these, right? So you would buy these CryptoKitties using Ethereum, and so on the site, basically you would have each of the 50,000 CryptoKitties, which is honestly just like a little image of a cat. Each cat has various attributes, which have been expertly compiled by, I don't know, a team of CryptoKitty designers based on, I don't know, fluffiness, color, eye color, and all those things.
This is like Pokemon Go with like crypto added to it.
Yeah, pretty much. It actually is. I saw a video on CryptoKitties where somebody showed the picture of the CryptoKitty and said, this is actually what it is. And then they've taken this printout of like the code of each CryptoKitty. And then they highlighted one part, the attributes. So those of you who learned C programming at one point of time, Naren, in your time, carving stone tablets.
They were inventing it.
So each of these attributes, like hair, like fur color equal to whatever, right? So 50,000 of these are unique. And here is the genius part of CryptoKitties. All these 50,000 are what are called Generation 0 CryptoKitties. So obviously, these can breed and create CryptoKitties. Now, each of the attributes are different also. Now you see how mildly Tamram and eugenics are playing into the picture over here, right? Where you actually can then have your ideal kitten based on the two Generation 0 parents that you have. I have not understood yet whether you need one male, one female. That level of detail I didn't see. I assume that something like that is there, or really, who cares? You're buying digital merchandise online using cryptocurrency. And so what happens is these attributes, right? So there are some 9 or 10 attributes for each cat. These, they have a magic formula. They have a secret formula by which they mix, and then the resultant child kitty, Generation 1 kitty, will have combined attributes of Generation 1 and Generation 2. So here is where the secondary market for these things kick into play. People want their ideal cat, and then they keep searching for parent cats that have certain attributes, and then they keep trying to buy these from others. So NFTs, they can be traded. Again, just like baseball cards. I have what is essentially a copy of a baseball card from the company that licenses it. It doesn't give me the right to distribute it myself commercially, but I can trade it or sell it to somebody else for a higher price or something. So NFTs works exactly the same way. I can transfer ownership to somebody else as long as that transaction is validated using the blockchain. Wow, I said validated using the blockchain. I'm very proud.
Wow.
The portal should
this sounds very much like that. I mean, this is
great T-shirt slogan. Validated using a blockchain. I'm totally getting that.
And the blockchain validates you too.
In Soviet Russia, the blockchain validates you.
But Naren, no, don't try to escape from the actual merch that is going to come out of the show, which was Naren Funtime. Naren Funtime, and at the back validated by blockchain.
And the fine print under it, Naren write a book.
Still haven't let go of that, have we? Something.
The other thing I was saying is this reminds me of, the whole trading of this thing to kind of get the desired attributes it's actually something quite old also, where especially in horse racing, where they're breeding horses, they want, like, I was watching the movie Secretariat, and in Secretariat they were talking about how there is this sire and this broodmare, and one has speed and the other has like calmness and stuff, and they kind of did this, like, I don't know whether it was a pseudoscience or there was some actual science into it, but this kind of behavior has been there for generations. Now they're doing it on a crypto level.
Yeah,
well, you can do the same thing as a video game, or like, you don't need to like invest money into it. What is this rubbish?
Tony, but when you put money into it, you are like invested into it.
That also could be simplified tagline. What is
okay?
This
So I think okay. So interesting. These crypto kitties were like a cult thing for a while, but now obviously it's come. It's like people are finding, oh, should I have crypto kitties from long back and now selling and all that. So some of these have sold for I think millions of dollars and things like that. There are some other examples of high profile NFTs that you guys might have heard of. I will read out some of them. One, of course, is the NBA's highlights, which is possibly the most well-known commercially validated version of this. So the NBA has a website. I think it's called Spotlight. What is it? Srikeit? I forgot the name of the website by itself, but it's a site where you can buy. That's okay. It's a site where you can buy NBA memories and digital cards for a certain price. So this is pretty interesting, where you can actually go and it actually looks pretty neat. And if I was an actual basketball fan, I might actually check it out myself, where you can actually trade digital cards. So again, like, you can take a screenshot of this and say, I have a version of this, but it's like the same thing, right? You don't own the card. You don't have those bragging rights, or I don't know, whatever kick you get out of having a real card. I guess. And some of these can be sold for, many of them are traded for tens of thousands of dollars. Interestingly, that site is an official NBA site, has a marketplace where these things can be traded. So like NBA themselves have their own, they have a place where you can buy these cards, as well as a place where you can trade with third party guys. Again, all using cryptocurrency. So that's one very high profile example of these. Jack Dorsey, of the founder of Twitter, he famously put up his first tweet as an NFT. Yes. So just to answer one of Naren's earlier questions, which is, can X be put up as an NFT? The answer is yes. So anything can be put up. And I just want to talk about I just want to tell you the price progression on the bid so far, because so Jack Dorsey is selling his tweet as an auction. He put it up on December 16th, 2020, and the price went from $1 to $50, $100, $400, etc. And right now we are up to 2.5 million.
Ooh. And it's still not been sold.
I don't know when he plans to. There's no end date to this as of what I can see. So want to buy this tweet? The highest offer is $2.5 million by Sina Estavi.
And must be fully tense now that it's not going up.
It's like that eBay bid scenario.
Ironically, this might be the most amount of money Jack Dorsey has ever earned from Twitter, but let us.
But then this is quite interesting, because a lot of times, I think I've discussed this with you, Chuck. What would be really cool as a concept to have is, if I could say, some days of like major events, like when India won the World Cup in 2011, if I could kind of get my timeline from that day, just read my timeline from that day in real time, and those kind of concepts.
Nothing's stopping you without crypto.
No, I want to read not my tweets, my timeline. So all the tweets that were going out that day. So what my timeline looked like on that day.
Oh.
Stuff like that can be converted into tweets, and that could actually be artwork that people would want to actually buy. Like if I can buy, say, on major events, what was the timeline looking like? What Twitter looked like? What the front page of a particular website looked like?
Oh, that's
stuff like that.
Yeah, but
right?
Would you pay money for it? Would you like? Do you think that's a collectible?
I can imagine people who would want to.
Yeah, like I can imagine certain tweets from certain people who I thought were funny enough, and I might want to buy that. I think you and I, for example, would bid on the Brobu tweet, for example.
Oh, for sure.
And we would own that. We would own that tweet, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting idea. Okay, but before we speculate, I'll just give you some other examples of NFTs. So the Indians are getting in on this act as well. There's an Indian designer called Amritpal Singh who makes these adorable little bobblehead like 3D-ish characters, and he's always been making these, but now he's started selling them, and they go from $600 all the way up to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 and stuff like that. And one of his most well-known NFTs, the ones that sold for the highest price, was he made 2 figurines to represent Daft Punk on the day that they split up, and those obviously, so it is a matter of good timing as well. We of course know the famous one, which is Beeple. So this is interesting. Beeple is an artist that I've been following for a year or so right now, because I've just like on Instagram, just love his art, like dark 3-dimensional art, and he just keeps putting these things out, and he's been apparently doing this for 13 years without making any money, as in he just puts them out, and he hasn't monetized his Instagram in any way. Suddenly, in one huge payday, a piece of art of his, which was a collage of the first 5,000 days, called The First 5,000 Days, sold for $69 million. It is still the most expensive NFT sold, and it is the third most amount of money that a living artist has ever made. Thought that was spectacular. Interesting enough, which I just read yesterday. So the guys who bought it were anonymous. But yesterday it was revealed that both of them were Indian origin, Tamil Nadu origin guys who operate a crypto fund in Singapore. I want to laugh at this, but I'm assuming that these gentlemen are a lot smarter than we are.
They're probably listening to Simplified already. So
they only did it to get a shout out on the show.
So if you want to buy the first 200 episodes of Simplified, it's on sale for
$1 billion each.
So that's Beeple, who on Instagram goes by Beeple Crap. Highly recommended, not just for this crypto thing, but in general, very nice art. There are other forms as well. Some musicians have tried selling an album via NFTs. Most famously, Kings of Leon, the band that is famous for the single Sex on Fire, which could also be a tagline for Simplified, I guess. No. Wrong Then a couple of years back, Nike patented crypto kicks, which were blockchain shoes. I'm not making this up. Although that is not an NFT by itself, I just found this hilarious and I had to share it. Like, you can basically get your shoes validated on the blockchain so that everyone around the world knows that you own this particular pair. All right, fair enough. Some new NFT-based ones, and Srikeit, this is mostly for you because these are what brands have done with NFTs. Charmin, which is the brand of toilet paper from Procter and Gamble, they have released toilet paper-based NFT art, and that art will, like, whatever money they raise, they're giving it to charity. So they're calling this is obviously this is obviously like jumping onto the bandwagon campaign that they're doing, and they're calling it NFTP. There you go. And Pizza Hut is selling NFT pizzas for, I think, like 0.0001 Ethereum each. But of course, the high priest of all things random, NFT, trolling, GameStop, everything is, of course, Elon Musk, who made a song about NFTs and wanted to sell that as an NFT.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course he did, right? This is the most 2020 thing to happen. Just imagine when you're back in 2000 thinking, what's the world going to look like? Hey, the richest man on earth is going to be making a silly song about a speculative piece of digital currency and digital merchandise, and he's going to be selling that as digital merch. Later, he realized that the thing was getting out of hand and he withdrew the offer.
Of course.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow, so sad.
Yeah. So,
but I'm actually waiting for...
NFT market? Like if you buy something, can you resell on the same?
Yeah. You can.
So is that why people are buying? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, that's what I was also going to join, because I feel a lot of this hype initially, it's the Bitcoin GameStop phenomenon, right? I'm just buying so that I can sell when the hype is at its peak.
Greater fool theory and all.
Yeah, it's the greater fool theory.
Yeah, but many of them are actually holding on to it. Like if you read an interview of those guys who bought the NFT art from Beeple, paying close to $70 million for it, they look at it as an investment.
That's what I'm saying.
They have
investment means you want to sell it. No, it's not like you think the damn thing is worth it.
So basically, are you a holder or are you a hodler?
No, but some of the these guys, they have plans to showcase it in a digital environment somewhere.
What the hell does that even mean? Like, you can seriously just...
the thing is, you're going to see a lot
enjoying Tony's outrage here.
Go on.
World liquidity, world money supply has gone up by $5 trillion and nothing has been produced in that time, right? In the last 1 year.
Yeah.
And it's just gone up by $5 trillion. All that $5 trillion is going to go into things like this.
Yeah.
So,
don't laugh at it.
Yeah, you just have to...
I'm not laughing at it. I'm saying, like, when you're buying Bitcoin, there is nothing. Like, when you're buying an NFT, at least there is something to
But
show.
then we go back to...
here's
what I love about this. This is actually making us ask fundamental questions. Like, what is money at the end of the day?
Oh, like that. Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
No, I think Andy Saltzman famously said in 2018 that Bitcoin is like homeopathic finance.
Oh, wow.
No, this is basically Schrodinger's money. Right. So I mean, it exists and whatever. You don't know it's alive or dead in any way.
I was waiting for a Sapiens reference, actually. Yeah. From
No, not yet. But what Naren said is very, very relevant. In fact, it leads to a larger point. In fact, references back to our SPAC conversation also in some way, where this whole spike in liquidity versus no real value being created, right? What SPACs were doing, what not NFTs per se, but generally this phenomenon of hodling and like kind of creating this wealth without any fundamentals, right? Which obviously, and whenever this has happened in human history, it's always been a bubble that's gotten burst at some point in time in a very explosive macro way.
Yeah.
And there is a, so to speak, Bitcoin blockchain bubble that might be forming that is being fueled by all of these things.
Yeah, it's got all the elements of something that looks like it's going to pop, right? There are technologies that nobody understands.
Exactly.
It seems a little weird, but okay. So what I've done is there are 3 points of view that I have copy pasted in my document over here. 2 are against.
But do you have the ownership for those?
No. Good point. Okay, Seth Godin, one of the sharpest marketers, etc. These days, his point of view: buyers of NFTs are maybe blind to the fact that there is no limit on the supply. Fair enough. In the case of baseball cards, there are only so many rookies a year. In this case of art, there's a limited number of famous paintings and a limited number of shelf space at Sotheby's. NFTs are going to be more like Kindle books and YouTube videos. The vast majority are going to have 10 views, not a billion. It's an unregulated, non-transparent hustle with bubble written all over it. Ouch. I'm assuming Mr. Godin is not on the side of NFTs.
Next, nobody bought his NFT.
Yeah. Next, we have from the forward-looking people at the Financial Post. But that does not mean NFTs represent the future of art. Okay, critical start. We value original pieces not just because of the bragging rights they bring, but because of the history, their aura, their smell, the way they feel. The emotional, visceral connection we have with the physical world cannot be replaced by digital strings of ones and zeros. Wow, what a bunch of Luddites. Okay, 0 to...
But I don't know who's bidding on art by smelling it first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Paris, I didn't smell the Mona Lisa, man. What a missed opportunity.
Yeah. And okay, and the last point is from Mark Andreessen, of course, the founder of iconic VC firm Andreessen Horowitz and also the creator of Netscape Navigator. Collecting has always been about the emotion, not the physical value. You can have 1 million copies of the Mona Lisa, but it wouldn't make the original any less valuable. And like Divya, my wife, who I was talking about this concept about yesterday, she said she heard on a Planet Money podcast recently that ironically, because there are 1 million copies of the Mona Lisa, the original actually goes goes up more in value because it acts as marketing in some way for
exactly.
That's a good.
I find that I find the logic. So I'm really conflicted. Like, part of me wants to agree with Seth Godin that anybody can come out and create one of these pieces without any credentials and just sell random shit for, like, at least just put it out there. But on the other hand, I get what Anderson is saying, because like I think we're like, as we live more and more in a virtual world, there are going to be like limited edition digital things. Like,
I wanted to make 2 points. One, completely agree with that. But the thing about the Mona Lisa, and that's a great analogy that you did, is that the reason why the value of the Mona Lisa has gone up is, yes, there are 1 million copies of it and everyone can see it. But everyone knows that the original Mona Lisa sits in the Louvre in Paris.
Yeah.
And that's what is that, that's the Holy Grail, that is the original and all that stuff. Having a copy sitting on someone's hard drive somewhere is not going to raise its value. The whole point is it needs to be something that's storied in a certain way.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just a matter of time before society starts storing on somebody's hard drive somewhere. There is, maybe we haven't
potentially, but
it's slightly backwards, no? I mean, people, it's not like Leonardo da Vinci made 100 million copies of the Mona Lisa. It's that people found the Mona Lisa that's such a nice thing that they made copies of it. And they're like, yeah, we don't have the original, but so what? Like, I can look at this duplicate. Everyone knows it's in the Louvre, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everyone knows that it's in the Louvre, and the fact that, see, the original's value is what gives the copies value.
Wow, well said.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the causation is reversed. Like, it's not that the original Mona Lisa is worth more because there are 100 million copies. I'm saying that the original Mona Lisa is worth...
No, that's true. Yeah. But the point is that 100 million copies only increase the hype of the Mona Lisa. If you go and see the Mona Lisa and versus another painting, what's really different? There are so many painters who are just as skilled as Leonardo da Vinci. Why the Mona Lisa? So it's a hype. And I've been to the Louvre, okay, and there are people queuing up to see Mona Lisa, and it's a big letdown. It's a tiny, it's like an A4 size thing. It's you're like, what this? And then you shuffle out, and you don't smell it. And and
it smells of room conditioner, air freshener, and room conditioning.
Maybe expect some Italian haters, since Naren just had a hot take on Leonardo da Vinci there. But
death threats.
Yeah, but I think so. I have a slightly different take on where this could go. Like, I think NFTs are just going to. Yeah, it's like super complicated, and society will continue having this debate that we are having. But I think in some way it will just generally normalize the idea of digital collectibles, even without cryptocurrency involved. Right? Till now we have been like, why? Like I've often thought of asking some of my favorite artists, for instance, can you send over the JPEG file? I don't want to buy a painting from you, but I will like send you like $500 for that thing so I can use it as a wallpaper. Like, I don't see something like that happening right now. Wallpaper as in like a desktop wallpaper and not wall wallpaper. Right. So I don't know, maybe this will normalize digital collectibles, even if it is for rupee or dollar download rather than using cryptocurrency. And maybe we are seeing that to some extent. Maybe we can say like access to paywalled articles and videos and stuff like that are in some ways stuff like this.
Are you saying this will replace Patreon?
It could.
I have a feeling it could go down the way of there is the original artwork. Now artwork rises to the top because of its popularity and the feelings it inspires in people across the world, right? Now, think of it this way. If you were to take it in terms of music, right? We all like the song Mind Street, but that Good Evening Kochi song, a version of Mind Street is what like we all cherish in some way, and we have that one version of the song that we need. Well, I'm using a reference within the simplified thing, but the particular, I think the versions, I think the overall, the central piece of the art needs to gain mass popularity, or at least popularity within a certain niche in some way, for that NFT to actually gain credence and then actually have that storification around it. It still comes down to the fundamental of the artwork has to have that value within that niche.
The artwork
or value
or
within the
creator,
mass.
the artwork or the creator. The creator needs to be famous enough. Like, for example, tomorrow, if, I don't know, like Ratan Tata makes a painting and sells it as an NFT, I'm guessing people will flock to buy it just because, not because it's necessarily a great piece of art. I don't know about Mr. Tata's painting skills, but because it is, so it all comes back to Srikeit, as you are dying to say, branding.
No, and that's where, and as Seth Godin also put it, basically most of the other NFTs that will go out there, just like GameStop, will become meme art, basically.
Yeah. So
like meme stocks.
So I'm guessing a way this will play out is right now there's going to be a bubble, all sorts of money thrown into things like this. Most of it will end up being worthless because people have just thrown money after a bubble. Some of this will endure, and as is the case always, the quality will rise to the top. And
very much so.
Very good. So
I disagree with the last part. Like, there's no such thing as quality, right? Like, what you deem as art is fundamentally different from
a societal acceptance of what quality is.
Anyway,
what has a good story?
That's a good debate to have, right? That's a great debate.
I agree with you, Tony. The final point you said, quality doesn't just mean how good it is, but it is about which has the best story. Right. Like, there is one very famous pieces of art that Adolf Hitler painted. They are not great pieces of art, but they're there because Adolf Hitler painted them, and there is that story about him being whatever, right?
Yeah. In fact, the whole reason for this thing was that he was rejected from Austria.
He was rejected, that's why he became like whatever he did. So,
really?
So there's this whole
art school admission rates are the reason for the Holocaust.
He was a painter, and he painted, and he was basically told, you're too mediocre a painter, and now those paintings are really famous.
Ouch. He could have just done the Elvis route and proved them wrong by creating, like Elvis also got, like, he's a poor musician or something. He got as a school music grade. He could have just proved them wrong musically. He could have, like, I mean, not that racist songs are a bad thing, but that might have been a less violent way of putting his feelings forward.
Yeah,
which makes too many MBAs out there potential MBAs who are rejected by Harvard or the IIMs, going on to do corporate espionage. I think
thankfully, like, people have degrees in entire political science, and also we don't need to worry about it.
Okay, I think we have come to the logical end of this debate.
Yeah, Hitler has been mentioned.
I'm wondering, like,
that is the logical end of every conversation.
So what is it?
From Godin to Godwin.
What is an NFT that you would pay for, and what would you like pay for it? Like, I would pay for some of, like, I don't know, my favorite musicians' early, like, uploads or something like that. I guess some of my favorite content creators. Maybe if, like, just imagine if, like, a Zero, for example, they were to upload their original recordings, wave files or something. I don't know. I might buy that either as an NFT or just as a limited edition download or something like that. I guess the space of music it would be for me. Tony, for you, I'm guessing it would be somewhere in the...
Yeah, I think BCCA stands to make a lot of money. Like, sell the Dhoni 6 footage with Ravi Shastri on commentary, or reaching of the Gabattoir. Yeah, many sporting moments, I'm sure, like, people... I mean, I would pay for it just to own it,
And you would pay, I'm guessing, just even if it was just a rupee download rather than just an NFT also, right? Or
exactly.
Or would you find more joy saying, I am the guy who owns Dhoni hitting a 6, for instance? Would you pay money for that?
Well, I am not, like, a collector by nature, right? Like, so I would pay just to, like, watch. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would totally pay for one of Bosie's.
So many cult references.
Oh my God!
From Bromo Tweet to Mother
please explain Bosie.
Bosie, I don't know if you need to explain Bosie.
Wow.
That's not a word.
That's not a
word I want to live in.
Naren, this is a 2005 thing. Please explain to people.
But Naren is right. If you need to explain Bosi, then like...
Okay, so what he is referring to, since nobody wants to take us, happens a very funny guy called Anand Ramachandran, aka Big Fat Phoenix, used to have a very cult blog at one point of time called Son of Bosi, who used to have some hilarious articles, and some of these I think are still archived online and can be found. So
yeah, this was a time when satire was still like relevant and like people were not making a mockery
you
of
could
reality.
actually make satire. And,
now there are only armchair experts and anger, which means instead of satire we have sat and ire. Very proud of it.
Oh man,
Srikeit, your turn. What is it?
So I mean, singular. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, like the timelines on iconic occasions for me would be there, but also like I think I would look at NFTs for specific points of digital art which probably don't exist right now. Like for example, I want to memorialize and save the edit that I made to Wikipedia to update the fact that Jurgen Klopp became Liverpool manager.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like the tweet that I put out, not I put out, but what my timeline looked like when Liverpool won the Champions League or when they won the Premier League for the first time in 30 years. Or, I mean, some iconic moments like that. I would look at NFTs rather than looking at. So, for example, I can buy highlights and keep highlights of some match or whatever like that as video, and that's not NFT. But I think the internet now is old enough to have its own history in some ways.
Interesting.
Right. And I want to kind of capture these moments of history of internet history.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is what you're saying is these are memories for you. Like I maybe don't have anything, like I possibly don't value that edit that you made, for instance, but it means something for you. Maybe that's the next evolution of NFTs where
personalized art.
And I have a feeling, because Elon Musk is working on brain-computer interfaces, I have a feeling somehow this will end up happening where everybody finds their ideal NFT.
Exactly. This is brilliant. Like personalized art, I think, is the next frontier.
You say brilliant, I say spooky, but hey, that is this diversity of opinions.
Also could be a tagline for Simblified.
On Simblified. On that note, I think we should leave. If you think that we should be selling, Naren, should we like put up the first episode of Simblified up as an NFT? I mean, if Jack Dorsey can do it.
Why not? Except that not all four of us were in it. So, but
okay. So
that could be
the first one and
Adam and Eve stuff.
That had all four of us. Excellent. For all you know, somebody might buy it and give us a lot of Ethereum for it. I have no idea what to do if somebody sends Ethereum also.
Can you smoke it? I don't think so. It sounds like something you can smoke, though.
Yeah, no, that is ether.
Okay.
Which will take you to ether anyway. I think we should now stop. I think we have whenever we reach a point where what we are talking sounds like a profundity of the day, that is when I this episode.
So like half an hour back.
I dream of the day when a WhatsApp forward will become an NFT. A profundity of the day.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of them are worthy. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Before we close, I have actually I don't know what it is, but I have a 2-minute monologue scene that I want to do.
Please.
Which is interesting. Something I found, and I don't see it as an episode, but I just see it as like a comment that I can make in some way.
Very good. Please go ahead.
So I mean, this is, I don't know if it will link to NFTs in any way, but so in 1971, Columbia Records, which was primarily a North American operation back then, kind of also expanded and kind of expanded to outside of the US, and in fact expanded to Mexico, particularly with Columbia Discourse. Right. And Columbia Discourse got really popular in Mexico and drove and actually Columbia Records, which was part of HMV Records and the EMI Records earlier, which basically was kind of a smaller operation, suddenly went global. During the 70s was when it really went global, and Columbia Discourse was one of the big ways it did that. So that's where, because of that revenue that it got, it started sponsoring a lot of artists and started gaining a lot of traction, including a certain album in 1979, which was by a certain band called Pink Floyd, right? And that album obviously was The Wall, Therefore, this entire long tail thing was to say that because of Columbia discourse, which was this thing, Mexico paid for the wall.
Wow.
Wow.
I have no idea what that has to do.
But I don't know. I just read about it and I was like, it was a sentence worth making, and I have a podcast, so why not?
Yes, absolutely. Well done.
Also a tagline for it.
I have a feeling now our piece of merch is just going to be also a tagline for Simblified, I think. Okay, so Naren, I think before any one of us has any more inspiration, I think
And that could also be an NFT, by the way. All the taglines for Simplified.
Yeah, this one should be stay safe, stay non-fungible, and stay simplified. Yeah,
stay fun,
perfect.
but not fungible.
Yeah, from 4 non-fungi guys.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, Siet Tires and the Whole Truth Foods. We really appreciate the support. So this week, tune into This Round is on Me with Gauri Devidayal. She invited Sonal Holland, India's only master of wine, and they discussed the goodness and business of wine, the pros and cons of being women in the hospitality business, and motherhood. On The Traveling Professor, Siddharth Deshmukh looks at evolution of search and wonders how voice search might change things yet again. On Advertising is Dead, Varun Dugirala featured Anirudh Singla of Pepper Content. He shared his perspective on the term content and how he sees it going forward. On Storytellers and Storysellers, Vineet spoke to Ayushman Sinha, head of Represent, a music talent management agency. He spoke about life as a manager and about nurturing new talent and paving a progressive career path for them. On Cyrus Says, we had entrepreneur, businesswoman, and Ruckus Avenue radio host Alexandra Masur. They discussed ethnicity, life as Desi American, Seema Auntie's matchmaking show, and a lot of other fun stuff. Also, IVM has an hour every Sunday on the Ruckus Avenue Radio Network, a US-based radio station that caters to the South Asian community. It's available on Dash Radio, and you can catch the episodes on the IBM Likes feed every Monday. On The Habit Coach with Ashton Doctor, Ashton asks us to commit to sleep and prioritize it over every party, work deadline, or binge watch session, as it is a crucial time when the body slows down for maintenance and recovery. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Come learn and experience the ABCDs of being queer with me, Shunetro,
and me, Farhad,
on our show Gay BCD.
The two of us take you through our stories and experiences of being gay men in the city of Mumbai and have candid
and sometimes downright scandalous
conversations about sexuality, gay culture, and everything in between.
Catch new episodes of Gay BCD every Tuesday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get all your podcasts from.